that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Tuesday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks. I am your host, Tom Schmitz, coming to you from the palatial studios of WOCA Radio. The palatial studios will be on the move, though. News broke yesterday that WOCA Radio will be relocating in the very near future. But not to worry, Galen Unall will know the phone number where we relocate as well. And so he will continue to be on the radio with us every morning, brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions how they're handling COVID-19, give Palm Garden a call at 352-854-6262. And also, Galen is brought to you every morning by Penn Flooring, family-owned and operated, serving Marion County for over 30-plus years. They're a full-service flooring company that does commercial and residential. Go see their fantastic showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street here in Ocala, or call 352-351-3420. And if you did, how did it get the name laminate flooring when it's not really laminated? You know, he's all knowing in the floor industry. I'm just saying, why is it parquet? I thought that was a margarine. Why is that also a floor? Questions like that. Send them to call and ask for Craig. He's got all your answers.
Craig specifically, ask him hair advice. His wife is a great hairstylist.
His wife is a great hairstylist. Him, not so much. Got to have hair to style it. Got to have hair to style it.
There you go.
You know, he's probably, let me tell you something. He's probably looking at the radio right now, saying words coming out of his mouth that we can't repeat in front of our parents. You know what I mean?
Well, he is prettier than both of us.
He is a much prettier man than both of us. I will give you that. He is a much better looking man than I will ever be, even if I had, like Larry Hagman facelift money.
Right. I mean, he's 5'3", but
okay, stop. He's 5'4".
Oh, that's right. 5'4". I'm sorry.
He's really 5'6", and he's 5'7". He's gonna get all over me for doing it.
He wears lifts.
He does wear a size 4 shoe. Does wear a size 4 shoe.
He does have very tiny hands.
He's a tiny hands man. He would not be a big hand. He's not the big hand girl from Seinfeld. No, he's not.
No,
very tiny.
I honestly, I haven't seen Craig in years. So
honestly, I haven't seen Craig. Well. Honestly, I haven't seen Craig since Sunday. And by the way, he's only as good as his lovely wife. Let's just be honest.
His wife's fantastic.
She really is, and a very, very good hair. For 30 years, probably one of the 2 or 3 best hairdressers in the entire city of Ocala.
Yeah.
She really was, and living the retired life now. Hey, Craig's out there busting a hump. Julie, retired. Good for her. Good for her. Hey, I'm not retired. I wish I could retire. Yeah, when you're a superstar like she was with the haircutting, though, you take clients here, you take clients there. Is it really retirement? Is it just doing what you want to do when you want to do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting in a hotel room in Nowhere, Alabama. I'm in Oxford, Alabama. So
wow,
yeah.
So it's not as fun as Oxford, Florida, with the poker room and everything.
No.
Wow, that's where's Oxford near? Is it near Auburn? Is it near Dothan? Is it near?
No, it's near Birmingham.
Oh, so it's up by Hoover and everything like that.
No. Hoover's like high dollar, man. Hoover is nice. That's where our donor center's not far from Hoover. No, I'm probably an hour and a half east of Birmingham.
Yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere.
I'm really on the border.
You're on the border of Georgia. You're right.
Yeah.
You're closer to Carrollton, Georgia than you are Birmingham.
Correct. That's exactly right. I don't know if you know where Anniston is.
Of course I know where Anniston, Alabama. You're talking to a guy from Atlanta, remember, okay?
Well, I know. That's why I was saying that.
We've always considered.
I'm looking at a donor center up here.
We've always considered Birmingham as like a little bedroom community of Atlanta.
that's too far of a drive to be a bedroom community.
Birmingham and Chattanooga, bedroom communities of Atlanta.
It's not true, but okay. Chattanooga, heck no.
Let me tell you something, baby. The
You
Nougat.
gotta drive through the mountains.
Let me tell you something. The Nougat, one of the funnest places you'll ever spend a weekend.
Well, you got to go over the mountain.
Well, yeah, but when was the last time you were in Atlanta? Because Atlanta proper now goes all the way up to, Atlanta proper, the metropolitan area now goes almost all the way to LJ. That's how much Atlanta's grown. That's how much
I don't
Atlanta.
know about that.
And I remember when Kennesaw was the outskirts.
In the suburbs.
Right.
Yeah, you're in the suburbs once you get to like Alpharetta, North Alpharetta.
I remember when Kennesaw. I remember when Kennesaw and Woodstock were the outskirts of the metropolitan area of Atlanta, and it's not now. It's in Metro Atlanta.
Well, now that's where the baseball field is, right?
Right.
Cobb County.
Well, the baseball field's right next to Cobb. The baseball field's right next to the Galleria Mall. Right off of Cobb Parkway. It sits right where they tore down one of my favorite places, Hooters, to put that baseball field in there. So,
nobody missed it.
That was
I chose, and you'll love this, I chose to drive up like the 280 route instead of going to Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, you come up. Yeah, you did the scenic route. You did the scenic route.
Yeah, I was like, I was halfway there, and Google's like, keep going straight. I'm like, man, I don't want to go to Atlanta. So I drove through, Wadowee and Americus.
And LaGrange.
No, I didn't go through. I went through Columbus.
Oh, you went through Columbus?
I didn't have to hit much of Didn't have to hit LaGrange. I saw where the president was born. And
can I tell you that? So you went through Plains? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Can I tell you that? Did I tell you about my television situation here recently? That changed drastically.
Yeah.
That my former roommate, because nobody shares passwords. Let's just get that out there. Nobody would ever share a password with a streaming service. Okay, never happens.
My neighbor's HBO Max.
Never happens.
So I could watch Godzilla.
So now this morning I asked my fiance. I go, so how's the weather in Columbus? She goes, well, it's going to be sunny today. She's by the way, my fantastic fiance Susan, a little under the weather today. Got the sniffles. 101 temperature last night. But I fed her some stuff. I go, what did it taste like? She told me what it tastes like. I go, okay, you still got taste. Good. That's a good sign. It's a good time. Smell is still there. I made sure that I, a couple times under the cover, gassed her last night to make sure her smell was still there. She got out of the bed screaming at me. So the smell's still there.
See, everything seems to be your relationship's right where it usually is.
But the smell and taste is a COVID thing. So I got to, I'm doing home remedy tests. You know what I mean? You got to have a home test. So
nothing wrong with that.
Speaking of my fantastic fiance, and your lovely wife, and we talked about Craig's lovely wife earlier. Have you ever had a situation where your wife tells you on one of those days, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, or birthday, where she says, you know what, just don't get me anything. It's not that big a deal. Don't get me anything. Have you had those days where she tells you it's not even that important anymore. I'm not even counting how old I am. I don't even like it. Just don't worry about getting me anything for this holiday. Have you had that conversation before?
Yeah. And I'm the smarter man today. But one of the it was our 10th anniversary, right? 10th is kind of a big one. I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah, it's the first double digit. It's the first double digit one. It's kind of big.
Right. So my wife, she said, well, I really want this vacuum. And like she had the model picked out and everything. It was like an expensive vacuum. So that's what I bought her.
The rainbow vacuum cleaner.
Oh my gosh. To this day, she goes, well, it doesn't really matter. Like it's going to be our 24th anniversary next week. And she goes, it doesn't really matter. I know it's our anniversary.
I think you should buy her Kirby.
No, she said, I don't think it's that big. She goes, I know you don't think it's that big of a deal based on, and she looked at me and she goes, well, thank God I don't need a vacuum cleaner.
14 years later, she's still dinging you.
Oh, yeah. And then she's already making plans like for our 25th. we're going to Ireland. I said, well, I don't want to go to Ireland.
Yeah, well, you don't have to go, but she's going.
I guess I'm going. Well, based on what the State Department released, you can't go to Ireland. They are going to rate them as a level 4.
They've shut 80% of the world off.
I am so glad I got to leave the country. You know, I'm glad my country's allowing me the permission to travel.
Well, look.
My gosh, you can't go to Ireland now?
Listen,
come on. Level
do you
4.
really?
They're treating Ireland like North Korea.
Do you really need to leave the United States of Florida? We got the greatest president, Ron DeSantis.
Oh,
we got a good GDP. I mean, the United States of Florida. Do you really need to leave this great country?
Well, you know, in the same breath, they're talking about how we need to improve the economies of these Latin and Central American countries. Tourism is the best route.
Yeah.
I mean, by far and away, the most productive, profitable, and requires the least amount of infrastructure. And what do they want to do? And it doesn't have, you know, and he's trying to go to a green economy. Nothing's better than tourism.
They want to shut it down.
But,
hey, the reason I brought up the girlfriend, I got to get you back on track here. The reason I brought up the wives and girlfriend, so they tell you don't get you anything about her birthday, Valentine's Day. Well, they did a survey.
It's a lie. It's a flat-out lie.
They did a survey. They found out that men are not as dumb as women think we are. Even though the girlfriend or fiance or wife said, you know, don't worry about it. On the major holidays, 92% of men still get them something.
You have to.
Okay, so men aren't as dumb as the women think we are. 92. Now there are 8% that are idiots, obviously, but 92% of the men surveyed said no. Even if she says
8%,
they're just dumb.
No, you know what the 8% are? Broke.
Well, yes, that's the only way. It's the only reason.
So there was a time when my wife would say, you know, like I'd buy her flowers, and she goes, you know, you don't do this, you know. We can't afford it, but at the same time, in the back of her mind, she's so thrilled that I sent flowers to her work.
100%.
100%. And also, you know, the delivery charge for flowers is more than the flowers.
100% it is.
And so early on, I would just take them to her work.
Right. Show up with them. Then that gets you good face with the coworkers too. They're like, look how good nice that guy is.
My wife's always worked in a hospital setting where I couldn't even get into where she was at sometimes. But yeah, again, that's the way to go and say, you know what, you're worth it and all that and all.
92% of men get something even though they're significant other than it's not that big a deal. And here's the caveat. You ready for this? 83% of women surveyed said even when I say I don't want anything, he better get me something.
You're darn right.
83%.
You know what I have to do when I want something? I have to literally print it out, say exactly where it's bought, where it's sold at, and in many cases I just order it for myself and say thank you.
Well, my significant other asked me what would you like, you know, for Christmas? You know, we don't do a whole lot of Christmas. You know, we don't buy because if we want something, we get it for each other. But she was like, you know,
sure.
if you wanted something, what would you want? And I said, you know, my rangefinder has the door that you click on, take on and off to put the battery in. The handle broke on it. So the handle broke on it, so it doesn't open easy. I'd like a rangefinder. She goes, well, I don't know what to get you. I don't know which one to get you. You'd have to buy that. Why are you going to ask me if you're not? Why?
My wife, I don't let her buy me clothes because they're usually terrible.
No, my fiance Susan buys me shorts and golf shirts all the time. Does a fantastic job.
Well, there you go. See, every relationship, there's strengths and weaknesses in the relationship. So, but I buy all of my wife's clothes because she just can't make that decision.
I went and helped. I went and assisted in the undergarment purchases about.
Oh, yeah.
3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, about 3-4 weeks ago. You know what my contribution was? Honey, there's a chair over here against the wall. I'll be here when you get done.
Darn right.
I'll be here when you get done.
You know what's made it possible? What's made it possible is online shopping. So I can buy, because before, if you went into Victoria's Secret,
you were pervert.
People either looked, and I was like, this is terrible. So now I buy all of that. I buy everything that my wife puts on her body, except for shoes. I have no taste in
I like
shoes.
to walk into Victoria's Secrets every now and then, though, just because I'm a goof. I like to walk into Victoria's Secrets, stand around for 10 minutes. Finally, one girl will come up and say, "Sir, is there something I can help you with?" I go, "Yeah. I'd like a 46 B bra and the panties that go with it." Excuse me. Don't judge me because I cross. Don't judge me because I cross dress. I want the panties. So,
that's right.
See,
they're very comfortable.
You see the color drain out of their face.
Oh yeah. But again, online shopping's made all this possible.
Yeah. Hey.
And Amazon allows you to make that mistake up until the day before.
Yes,
you can rectify it instantly.
Speaking of the day before, we're about a day behind in break, so we need to take a break right now. This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz. Galen Unall from Life South joins us. We'll be right back after this short timeout.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named. The man, the myth. The only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. We heard from the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation and Penn Flooring as they proudly bring us Galen Unall every day of the week. Galen is stuck in Oxford, Alabama. I mean, he's stationed in, he's in Oxford, Alabama. That's what he is. That's where he is. That's where he is. Hey, Galen, yesterday, and do you do this? A lot of people don't do this, but I'm a guy that I associate things with not actually the date it happened, but with what it was around. Like, I'll give you an example. My father was left this earth around Easter Sunday. So I always associate Easter, even though it fluctuates what day it shows up on date-wise on the calendar, I always associate Easter with the passing of my father. And so yesterday was Patriots Day. And I always associate Patriots Day, even though it wasn't April 15th, which was the day this actually happened, but I always associate Patriots Day with the gruesome terrorist attack that took place at the Boston Marathon. And can you believe it's been 8 years ago that happened?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And, Zarniev, one of the Zarniev brothers is
life in prison.
Sitting in prison. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I remember vividly. We were coming on the air at 3 o'clock with the Voice of Ocala, and it had broke, about 3 hours before the bombing had happened, because it happened, it happened around 11:30 a.m., I guess, 12 o'clock East time, and 3 people killed, 269 people injured as 2 pressure cooker bombs went off 21 seconds apart right towards the finish line of the Boston Marathon on Patriots Day 8 years ago. And we did an entire show where we talked about it for 3 solid hours, and all we talked about was as they were updating us, because the story was ever evolving. And of course, we know the FBI 3 days later put out photos of people of interest, and then the subsequent shootout in the boat, in the boat where one of the brothers was fatally wounded and the other brother taken into custody. And, of course, they said it was because of the war in Afghanistan and Iran is why they did the bombings. But it's one of those times where you just – the tradition of Patriots Day and all – every time now, if I was a Bostonian, and I know you can't do it this way, you got to be Boston strong and everything, but I would still have in the back of my mind, do I really want to go down near the finish line on Patriots Day this year? Is that because I'm overly cautious, or do you think that's something that's probably in the back of everybody's mind every time that Patriots Day comes up now?
Well, this year and last year the marathon was canceled, but this year it's been delayed. I think
it's been delayed
virtually. I think they may have it in September. It's interesting. I'm sure it does, right? I mean, I think every time somebody gets on a plane now, 9/11 is in the back of your brain. I think that's part of life, right? The same is true if you think of, you're a historian, right? So if you think of Hawaii. And I say, well, I'm going to Hawaii in December. You're like in Pearl Harbor,
right?
If you think of Germany, a lot of people think, well, World War II or Vietnam with the war in Vietnam. I think that's only natural, and I think time will heal that wound and it'll get easier. But yeah, I think that will always be there.
I always,
and I think you're right. I think you're right about the dates of things. It's especially in the spring because Easter floats, right? I think it's more in the spring than any other time. Like Christmas and Thanksgiving and obviously New Year's or Memorial Day and all that, those are fixed. But that Easter, anything that happens around that Easter weekend, it floats around. And I think that's what causes it. Sure.
Yeah, and, just like anytime I go back to the town I graduated high school from, Chamblee, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta. But when I say a suburb, it's only 14, 15 miles from downtown Atlanta. It's not really that far outside of downtown Atlanta. But anytime I go to when I used to go to Braves games or I go to downtown, when I'd go to the SEC championship, I'd always think back to July 27th, 1996. I had left Centennial Park on the 26th of July at like 11:30. 45 minutes later, the Olympic Park bombing happens on July 27th, 1996. I was about 5 blocks away. We heard it. We rushed back to see all the chaos. And I always remember that when I'm downtown Atlanta for 2 reasons. One, it just gives you a little, I was here, that close.
Yeah.
And July 27th, 1996, the Olympic Park bombing. Also, my 30th birthday, so it'll always be something.
Oh,
remember when? Anytime you do a remember when,
sure.
It's always going to show up on my birthday. The Olympic Park bombing. Sure. Here's how messed up my family is. My older sister Donna, on her birthday, when you say remember when, she was born on September 11th.
Wow.
So we got the World Trade Center bombing and the Olympic Park bombing both as birthdays in my family. Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's I was in Atlanta for that. I was working as a line reporter for the Olympics. So yeah.
Well, there you go. We got to take a break. We'll come back, wrap it up with Galen Unall after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.